Some news changes your day, but every once in a while, you get news that changes your entire life. News that can shift your direction, news that'll rewrite your story, news that forces you to see everything differently. And there's one headline, one announcement, and it doesn't just change your life, it changes your eternity. And that's the good news of Jesus. And we all know what it feels like to receive news that hits hard. There's always that phone call at a weird time, a bad diagnosis, message you didn't expect. Good or bad, news has power. But the gospel, it just isn't news. It is the news. And the announcement that God Himself stepped out of heaven into human history, not to judge, not to crush us, but to save you and me. And this isn't just a motivational speech. This isn't a self help book. This isn't try harder, do better, grind more, fix yourself. The gospel is a declaration, and it's a declaration from heaven, a headline that interrupts your broken news story with a better one. So now let's remember that Jesus is Lord. Paul says, Romans 10:9, the good news begins with this: Jesus is Lord. Now, for a lot of us, a lot of people, even me in the old days, lordship sounds something distant, something religious, something royal, something that's not the freedom as an American that I want, right? But lordship simply means this: Jesus has all the authority, He has all power, all rule, all dominion. Matthew 28:18 says, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to Him. Now, think about that. Every throne, every kingdom, every force of darkness, every spiritual power, every human authority, and every unseen realm. All of it bows to Jesus. But here's the part that should shake you. The most powerful being in the universe is also the most gentle, humble, and loving. He says, I am gentle and lowly in heart. If any other human had all authority, it would be terrifying. We don't like it when our leaders seem to be like dictators. Now, I'm not going to make this political, but both sides of our equation in the US do it. But think about other leaders in other countries too. When they have all the power, it becomes very scary. But Jesus isn't like that. He's not us. He doesn't abuse his power. He doesn't fall for corruption or blackmail. And his leadership doesn't wound. He was wounded. We were not. To come under his lordship is not to be crushed. It is to be carried, protected, led, and restored. His lordship is good news because the one who rules you is the one who also loves you. So Paul didn't just stop there. He says Jesus is also your Savior. And this is where the gospel becomes so deeply personal. Because the truth is, we were born into bad news. Our world was fractured by sin. Even before we entered it, a humanity was spiritually dead. A heart was corrupted from the inside out. And you know what? I wasn't just struggling. I wasn't misguided. I wasn't trying to find out about me. And you were doing the same, right? We were dead. We were dead in sin, dead in shame, and dead because we were separated from God. And dead people can't rescue themselves. Jesus didn't come to be your coach, and He didn't come to give you some great tips on how to clean your grout, and He didn't come to offer advice. But He came to save you. He came to step into your darkness and to pull you out of the grave and to lift you up out of the pit that you couldn't climb up yourself. And to do that because we can't do it for ourselves. If you've ever had a problem, and I've had plenty, many times, if I get down in that pit, if I'm reaching my hand out and I'm grabbing onto someone I love or care about humanly, they may end up, if they're not grounded themselves with something like Jesus to hold them, they're going to come in that pit with me, or they're going to leave me in the pit and not even try to help. And once they're in that pit, that's not good for them either. So you have to have that groundedness in Jesus. But remember, he didn't come to improve our life. He's not going to make us rich. He's not going to make us better looking. He's not going to end all of our problems, but he is going to exchange your life. Remember, he didn't come to make you better. He came to make you new. Now, the gospel isn't a rescue, or excuse me, the gospel is a rescue. It isn't a reward, not a reward, a rescue. And that's why the gospel is good news. It's not about what you have to do, it's about what he already did. It's not about your strength or my strength. It's about what he did, what his sacrifice was, and his strength. It's not about your performance. He doesn't have a checklist. It's not about whether you had communion 77 times in 77 days. It's not about how many times you went to church, but it's about his perfection. The gospel is not a ladder that you can climb. It's not the corporate world. It's a lifeline that you get thrown when you're drowning. And it's not a reward for the righteous. It's a rescue for the broken. And here's the beauty of it all. The one who saves you is the one who rules you. The one who died for you is the one who leads you. And the one who stepped into your story is the one who now writes your future. So Jesus is both Lord and Savior, the good King who uses his power to save and not destroy. So here's the invitation. If this news is true, and I believe that it is, if Jesus is really Lord, if he's really the Savior, if he really stepped into your brokenness and offered you a new life, what does it mean for you? Now, what area of your life could you redeem? What part of the story is he trying to fix for you? What burden is he trying to lift? What sin is he trying to free you from? What purpose is he trying to awake in you? For me, the reason I do these videos is maybe one person can hear the good news that wouldn't have heard about it before. Or maybe somebody that has heard the good news can hear my message and somehow take something good from it. And know that they're not alone in their beliefs and their following of Jesus. Because the gospel isn't something we can just believe. It's something you have to surrender to, something you have to step into, and something you have to live in. So, some news can change your day. But if that good news is Jesus, that news is he is Lord, he is Savior, that tomb was empty, and that news story is that you can start again today. And that new you literally can change everything. So thank you for listening. This is Rod with Jesus in Silver. I appreciate your listening. So please like, share, and subscribe so others can hear the good news. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions about Jesus, I'm here to help. So thank you for listening. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.